Coleman Barks is a renowned poet and the best-selling author of numerous books on Rumi, including The Essential Rumi, The Soul of Rumi, and Rumi, the Book of Love. He was prominently featured in both of Bill Moyers PBS television series on poetry, The Language of Life, and Fooling with Words. Coleman taught English and poetry at the University of Georgia for 30 years, and he now focuses on writing, readings, and performances. Joining him here at the conference are Pepe Danza on flute and drum and Corben Keep on cello. Join me in welcoming Coleman Barks.
One night, a man was crying, Allah, Allah. His lips grew sweet with the praising, until a cynic said so. I've heard you calling out. But have you ever gotten any response? The man had no answer for that. He quit praying and fell into a confused sleep where he dreamed he saw Hitter, the guide of souls, in a thick green foliage. Why did you stop praising? Because I never heard anything back. This longing you express is the return message. The grief you cry out from draws you toward union. Your pure sadness that wants help is the secret cup. Listen to the moan of a dog for its master. That whining is the connection. There are love dogs no one knows the names of. Give your life to be one of them. One night a man was crying, Allah, Allah. One night a woman was crying, Allah, Allah. So, there may be some problems with standing up here with a magnified voice and saying poems that are 7 centuries old, spoken in a language that I have to depend on scholars to give me literal versions of that I make into these poems. You might think that the emotions that come across, or that Rumi's bewilderment and longing might be somewhat diluted. But let me tell you a story from the Hasidic masters of Russia and eastern Poland. They say that once the Baal Shem Tov had difficult work to do, he went into the woods to a certain spot started a fire, did the meditation, and the prayers came spontaneously, and the work that needed to get done was done. A generation after that, the Majid of Mazaritz was given the same work to do. He went to the same place in the woods and said, I no longer know how to light the fires and meditate, but I do know the prayers. I hope that is enough. And it was. A generation after that, it came to Moshe Leib of Sosaf to do the work. He went into the woods and spoke, I do not know the fire meditation or the prayers, but I still come to the same place that the Baal Shem Tov came to, and I hope that's enough. And it was. A generation after that, Israel of Rasheen was called to the task. I do not know the place, the fire meditation, or the prayers, but sitting inside here at the table, I can tell the story of how it used to go. That story might be interpreted as the gradual diminishment of a living tradition, but the same work got done, no matter how it was approached. With the Baal Shem or the great Majid or the Israel of Rasheen. And I can only hope that some of the fire of Rumi and Shams' friendship can actually be transmitted here. One night, they stayed up all night in the community that Rumi was part of, saying the prayers they call zikr, telling stories. And as the sun came up, he said that they were in a state of awareness that he called Majesty or Splendor. This next poem is about how that cannot be said. It can only be imaged in the rising sun itself. And the amazing statement of this poem is that there is in that splendor, which is perhaps the state of awareness that Jesus pointed to when he said the kingdom of God is within you. Maybe it's what the inside of a cathedral means, that vast innerness. It's some sort of inner glory that he says is somehow prior to the existence of the universe and the source of it. Tell that to the evolutionists. Okay. This we have now is not imagination. This is not grief or joy. Not a judging state or an elation or a sadness. Those come and go. This is the presence that doesn't. It's dawn, Husam, here in the splendor of coral, inside the friend, in the simple truth of what Halaj said. What else could human beings want? When grapes turn to wine, they're wanting this. When the night sky pours by, it's really a crowd of beggars and they all want some of this. This that we are now. Created the body, cell by cell, like bees building a honeycomb. The universe and the human body grew from this. not this from the universe and the human body. This we have now is not imagination. This is not grief or joy, not a judging state or an elation or sadness. Those come and go. This is the presence that doesn't. It's dawn who sung. What else could human beings want? What else could human beings want? Anybody got a copy of The Glance? Here? No? Hope this is not breaking the mood. Nobody's got a copy. Now, what kind of a crowd are you? Oh. Anyway, okay. What's the man? What? No, it's I'll just have to read another one.
Hey, Coleman.
Yeah. You got one?
Which one?
No, the other one called Undressing.
Which one?
Undressing. This is really a good one. I tell you, it's worth it. It's called Undressing. And then you'll see it is good.
See, Coleman doesn't know that when you're at a loss and you're with a musician, you say, vamp, vamp. We go.
Takeover of the ship. I thought this Rumi and flamenco was going to be a good idea, but it sort of makes the kids crazy. Okay, I still think it's a good idea. Learn the alchemy true human beings know. The moment you accept what troubles you've been given, the door will open. Welcome difficulty as a familiar comrade. Joke with torment brought by the friend. Sorrows are the rags of old clothes and jackets that serve to cover, then are taken off. that undressing and the naked body underneath is the sweetness that comes after grief. The hurt you embrace becomes joy. Call it to your arms where it can change. A silkworm eating leaves makes a cocoon. Each of us weaves a chamber of leaves and sticks. Silkworms begin to truly exist as they disappear inside that room. Without legs, we fly. When I stop speaking, this poem will close and open its silent wings. I'd like to read a poem. It's not by Rumi. It's by a friend of mine, Bill Matthews, who died a couple of 3 years ago now. A wonderful poet, just 55 years old. Very cultured, wonderful, funny guy. And he had a heart attack sitting in his bathtub, getting ready to go out to the opera. And this is a poem of his called Good Company. It's about that institution that we used to go to called the dinner party. At dinner, we discuss marriage. 3 men, 3 women, 1 couple among us, all 6 of us wary. I use it to frighten myself. Our true subject is loneliness. We've been divorced 1.5 times per heart. The trick the last half of our lives is to get our work done. The golfer we saw from the car this afternoon, his angered face in bloom with blood, lashed his strict ball for going where he'd hit it. We watched him turn from a worse shot yet and give us a look like our own, and on we dawdled through the afternoon toward dinner here. Here means the married couple's house, of course. The rest of us use so much time being alone we don't entertain much. The wind loops and subsides. What a fine night to sleep. Upstairs, a book falls off a shelf. We'll be sitting here ages hence, the scent of lawns, good company, Sancerre, fitful breezes suddenly earnest. What sense does marriage make now? Both people want jobs, the sad pleasures of travel, and also want homes. They don't want dark houses or to live with cats. They have lives waiting up for them at home. Take me. I must read half an hour of Horace before I can sleep. The conversation luffs. The last bottle of wine was probably too much, but God, we're happy here. My husband stopped the papers and flea-bathed the dog before he left. One of us has a friend whose analyst died in mid-session, non-directive to the end. Now we're drifting off to our 9 lives and more. melodramatic wind, bright moon, dishes to do, a last little puddle of brandy or not, and the cars amble home, the door, the stairs, the sheets aglow with reticence and moonlight, and the bed full to its blank brim with the violent poise of dreams. So that's Bill Matthews, and this is a poem of mine for him. They say the best French wines have terroir, meaning the taste of the lay of the land that works through and gets held in the wine, the bouquet of a particular hillside and of the care of those who work there. When I see Bill Matthews coming along, I see and taste the culture of the world, a lively city, a university campus during Christmas break, a few friendly, straggling artists and scholars. I taste the delight of language and desire and music. I see a saint of the great impulse that takes us out at night, to the opera, to the ball game, to a movie, to poetry, a bar of music, a bar of friends. When I see Bill Matthews stopped at the end of a long hall, I see my soul waiting for me to catch up, patient, demanding, wanting truth no matter what. The goofiest joke, the work with words we're here to do, saying how it is with emptiness and changing love and the unchanging. Now I see his two tall sons behind him. Bill would not say it this way. He might even start softly humming Amazing Grace if I began my saying, but I go on anyway. God is little g, inside out. A transparency that drenches everything you help us notice. A red blouse. Those black kids crossing Amsterdam, braving the cabs. A nun. You sweet theologian, you grew new names for God. Gourmet, cleaning woman, jazz, spring snow. What fineness and finesse. I love Bill Matthews, and I did not have near enough time walking along with him, talking books and ideas, or sitting down to drink the slant and tender face of Provence. Here's another poem of mine. It's called Purring. The internet says science is not sure how cats purr. Probably a vibration of the whole larynx, unlike what we do when we talk. Less likely, a blood vessel moving across the chest wall. As a child, I tried to make every cat I met purr. That was one of the early miracles, the stroking to perfection. Here's something I've never heard. A feline purrs in two conditions, when deeply content and when mortally wounded. To calm themselves, readying for the death opening. The low frequency evidently helps to strengthen bones and heal damaged organs. Say poetry is a human purr. Vessel mooring in the chest. A closed mouth refuge. The feel of a glide through dying. One winter morning, on a sunny chair. Inside this only body, a far-off inboard motorboat sings the empty room. Rumi is probably best known for the kind of poem that feels drenched or drowned in that presence he calls the beloved or the friend, that mystery that is within and without everything. Sometimes he addresses it directly. They have a pronoun in Farsi, I'm told, that means I, you, he, she, it, we, they, and God. We don't have that pronoun. So I have to use that wonderfully tender, poignant, second person, singular and plural, you. Works pretty well, I think, with English. So here he addresses that mystery, and he finds it, as he often does, in weather. When it's cold and raining, you are more beautiful. When it's cold and raining and windy, you are more beautiful. And the snow brings me even closer to your lips. The inner secret, that which was never born, you are that freshness, and I am with you now. I can't explain the goings or the comings. You enter suddenly, and I am nowhere again, inside the Majesty. What was in that candle's light that opened and consumed me so quickly? Come back, my friend. The form of our love is not a created form. Nothing can help me with that beauty. There was a dawn, I remember, when my soul heard something from your soul. I drank water from your spring and felt the current take me. What was in that candle's light that opened and consumed me so quickly? Come back, my friend. The form of our love is not a created form. Nothing can help me but that beauty. There was a dawn, I remember, when my soul heard something from your soul. I drank water from your spring and felt the current take me. Beautiful. In this poem, often in his poems addressed to the beloved, there's some conversation that goes on between the one in form, the one who lives and dies and stands up here and talks and loses his poems. That one, and the one that moves through form, the beloved. So there's this inner conversation going on. And in this poem, the conversation is entirely from the beloved side. This is the you talking. On the night when you cross the street from your shop and your house to the cemetery, you'll hear me hailing you from inside the open grave, and you'll realize how we've always been together. I am the clear consciousness core of your being, the same in ecstasy as in self-hating fatigue. That night, when you escape the fear of snake bite and all irritation with the ants, you'll hear my familiar voice, see the candle being lit, smell the incense, the surprise meal fixed by the lover inside all your other lovers. This heart tumult is my signal to you, igniting in the tomb. So don't fuss with the shroud and the graveyard road dust. Those get ripped open and washed away in the music of our finally meeting. And don't look for me in a human shape. I am inside your looking. No room for form with love this strong. Beat the drum and let the poets speak. This is a day of purification for those who are already mature and initiated into what love is. No need to wait until we die. There's more to want here than money and being famous and bites of roasted meat. Now, what shall we call this new sort of gazing house that has opened in our town, where people sit quietly and pour out their glancing like light, like answering? Don't look for me in a human shape. I am inside your looking. No room for form with love this strong. As a kind of antidote to those beloved poems, Rumi writes poetry that is in which he scolds the people in his community. He says, I put a little scolding, I put a little vinegar in the honey, a little scolding with my love to make the ecstasy more familiar. There's courage involved if you want to become truth. There is a broken open place in a lover. Where are those qualities of bravery and sharp compassion in this group? What's the use of old and frozen thought? I want a howling hurt This is not a treasury where gold is stored. This is for copper. We alchemists look for talent that can heat up and change. Lukewarm won't do. Half-hearted holding back, well enough getting by, not here. Half-hearted holding back, well enough getting by, not here. On Resurrection Day, your body testifies against you. Just think it. Your hand says, I stole money. Your lips, I said meanness. Your feet, I went where I shouldn't. Your genitals, me too. They will make your praying sound hypocritical. Let the body's doing speak openly now, without your saying a word. As a student walking behind a teacher says, this one knows more clearly than I the way. Let the body's doings speak openly now, without your saying a word. As a student walking behind a teacher says, this one knows more clearly than I the way. Who makes these changes? I shoot an arrow right, it lands left. I ride after a deer and find myself chased by a hog. I plot to get what I want and end up in prison. I dig pits to trap others and fall in. I should be suspicious of what I want. Pepe was traveling in Vietnamese highlands and got that shaman's, what is it? A piece of metal.
It's a jaw harp, yeah.
Jaw harp.
Made by hill tribes in Vietnam. And something happened when I put it in my mouth.
Wow, it sure did.
Bang.
Get real close to the thing for this next one. Isn't that better? This is a poem Rumi wrote about being beyond the categories of religions. Not Christian or Jew or Muslim. Not Hindu, Buddhist, Sufi or Zen. Not any religion or cultural system. I am not from the East or the West. Not out of the ocean or or up from the ground, not natural or ethereal, not composed of elements at all. I do not exist, am not an entity in this world or the next, did not descend from Adam and Eve or any origin story. My place is the placeless, the trace of the traceless, neither body or soul. I belong to the beloved, have seen the two worlds as one, and that one called to and know, first, last, outer, inner, only that breath, breathing, human being. This is all an experiment. So, I thought that would work. This is a story about three travelers, a Muslim, a Christian, and a Jew. Rumi loves stories. He says the stories are like bath water that you heat for your bath. They freshen you for the next human contact. So here's a bath. You going to have a storytelling drum? Or, I thought that we were going to, yeah.
It's drum.
Three devout, now not too much music here. Three devout men of different religions fall in together by chance, traveling. I think they're going a little slower than that. They stop at a caravanserai where the host brings as a gift, a sweet dessert, some taste of God's nearness. This is how people out in the country serve strangers. The Jew and the Christian are full, but the Muslim has been fasting all day. The two say, let's save it for tomorrow. The one, no, let's save self-denial for tomorrow. You want it all for yourself. Divide it into three parts, and each can do as he wants. But Muhammad said not to share. That was about dividing yourself between sensuality and soul. You must belong to the one or the other. But finally, for some reason, he gives in. I'll do it your way. They refrain from tasting. They sleep and then wake and dress themselves to begin morning devotions. Christian, Jew, Muslim, shaman, Zoroastrian, stone, ground, mountain, river, each has a secret way of being with the mystery, unique and not to be judged. This subject never ends. Three friends in a grand morning mood. Let us tell what dreams we had last night. Whoever has had the deepest dream gets the halva. Agreed. The Jewish man begins his wandering, the wanderings of his soul. Moses met me on the road. I followed him to Sinai, an opening door, light within light. Mount Sinai and Moses and I merged in an exploding splendor, the unity of the prophets. This is a true dream. Many Jews have such. Then the Christian sighs. Christ took me in his arms to the fourth heaven, a vast, pure region I cannot say. His is also deep. The Muslim. Muhammad came and told me where you two had gone. You wretch, he said, you've been left behind. You may as well get up and eat something. No, laughed the Christian and the Jew. How could I disobey such glory? Would you not do as Moses and Jesus suggest? You're right, they said. Yours is the truest dream because it had immediate effect in your waking life. What matters is how quickly you do what your soul directs. Okay. Yeah. Corben needs a little more of me and Pepe in his monitor.
Especially Pepe. There's only cello in the monitor.
If we can fix that. This is me. Beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there's a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. Come to the orchard in spring. There is light and wine and sweethearts in the pomegranate flowers. If you do not come, these do not matter. If you do come, these do not matter. I would love to kiss you. The price of kissing is your life. Now my loving is running toward my life, shouting, what a bargain, let's buy it. If you want what visible reality can give, you're an employee. If you want the unseen world, you're not living your truth. Both wishes are foolish, but you'll be forgiven for forgetting that what you really want is love's confusing joy. Walk to the well. Turn as the earth and the moon turn, circling what they love. Whatever circles comes from the center. Some nights stay up till dawn, as the moon sometimes does for the sun. Be a full bucket pulled up the dark way of a well, then lifted out into light. This moment, this love comes to rest in me. Many beings in one being. In one wheat grain, 1,000 sheaf stacks. Inside the needle's eye, a turning night of stars. Inside the needle's eye, a turning night of stars. Beautiful. They were always aware in Rumi's community that there's a slight shift in human awareness when you're about to hear a joke. Nasruddin takes a tuna fish sandwich to work every day, takes a bite out of it, says, "Bleh," and throws it away. His co-worker says, "Nasruddin, why don't you have your wife fix some other kind of sandwich?" He says, "My good man, it's not so simple as that. I'm not married. I make these for myself." Nasruddin walks into town, and there's a wall with a lot of targets on it at different heights and different distances apart, about 20 of them, and perfect shot in the middle of every target. A young man with a rifle standing nearby. "How did you become such an expert marksman?" "Easy," he says. "I shoot first and then paint circles around the hole. That way I get a bullseye every time." Nasruddin reflects that there may be some deception in the young man's life, but that he has solved one of our basic problems, that of being off-center. Nasruddin and his son are leading a donkey through town, and the people in town say, "Look at Nasruddin and his son. They don't know the proper use of a donkey." The next day, Nasruddin and his son come through town with the son is riding the donkey, and the people in the town say, "Look at Nasruddin. He doesn't know the dignity proper to fatherhood." The next day, Nasruddin and his son come riding through town, and Nasruddin is riding the donkey, and the people in the town say, "Big shot Nasruddin." The next day, Nasruddin and his son come through town carrying the donkey. We are now going to have some music by these magnificent musicians, Pepe Danza and Corben Keep. It's the old rule that drunks have to argue and get into fights. The lover is just as bad. He falls into a hole, but down in that hole he finds something shining, worth more than any amount of money or power. Last night the moon came dropping its clothes in the street. I took it as a sign to start singing. Falling up into the bowl of sky. The bowl breaks. Everywhere is falling everywhere. Nothing else to do. Here's the new rule. Break the wine glass and fall toward the glass blower's breath. Imagine the time the particle you are returns where it came from. The family darling comes home. Wine without being contained in cups is handed around. A red glint appears in a granite outcrop, and suddenly the whole cliff turns to ruby. I was walking along at dawn with a monk on his way to the monastery. We do the same work, I told him. We suffer the same. He gave me a bowl, and I saw the soul has this shape. Shams and actual sunlight. Help me now, being in the middle of being, partly in myself and partly outside. Thank you. That's the last one. Okay, we'll do two quick ones here. Two quick ones. One by Rumi. It's his model for the psyche, which is a guest house. You are the guest house, and you are the host, and you are visited by emotions and moods, compulsions that come through. So that maybe jealousy comes, and you say, come on in. I haven't seen you in some time. Stage fright appears, and you say, it's been kind of dull without you around here. Come on in. Ecstatic love comes up the walk. My pleasure. A sentimental sense of oneness with everything arrives. I knew your mother. A sarcastic doubt of anything spiritual arrives. Bro, about that game last night. Unbelievable. Road rage comes up. Didn't it? And you say, did you ever think of becoming a professional driver? Okay, that's my riff on Rumi's poem. Here's the poem. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. We're going to do one more, and then we'll quit. And then Jai Utah and Jeffrey Gordon are going to be there. Wonderful. In 1988, I went down to Santa Cruz to a conference on collaborative translation. And after 2 or 3 days of that, I wandered away and from the academics and fell in with some North Indian meditators, as will happen. And I was sitting with them on one Sunday morning and in this old modified schoolhouse building down in Santa Cruz, and sitting there as quietly in meditation, and I heard down the hall some of these old Appalachian hymns that I used to sing, where I grew up, and I wondered where I wanted to be, down in there singing those hymns or here meditating, and it's about being sort of torn between various traditions and trying to solve that. It's called Darshan Singh and Christian Harmony. Friends have brought me to this schoolhouse in downtown Santa Cruz. No longer a school, but a meeting place. Darshan Singh and Sawan Singh devotees in one room, say the 2nd grade classroom. And directly across the hall, an ecology organization, a real estate office, and down at the end, the Whosoever Will Mount Moriah Baptist Church is using the old 4th grade room as their church this Sunday morning. Maybe their building burned, or maybe they never had one, I don't know. I'm down and across the wide, worn, wooden floor hall, meditating with 7 Singh people, when of a sudden, with no accompaniment, comes the homesick sound of an unclouded day, in the whinge and the whang of a loudness I know. This is not the way we practice this. Ah, the land of starry skies, ah, the land of an unclouded day. Ah, they tell me of a land far across the sea. Ah, they tell me of an unclouded day. Floats me away. Do I want to be there or here? Home or home? Or home? Or home? Where I'm from is some who I am. As St. Augustine says, if what gets saved is completely separate from the body, it's not me that gets saved. Thence the doctrine of the resurrection of the body. My feeling is, I can stay here, subtle sing-hing, or go to out loud old shoe sing-song, or buy some land or save some wilderness. It's all one fine multi-purpose meeting house and temporary sanctuary with a silver-plated sugar dish on a white satin pillowcase, folded for an altar. I'll visit them all and walk the hall, singing my half-quiet song in a bundle of tongues. There are many rooms in this makeshift morning, and ways we've yet to let the schoolhouse be. There are many rooms in this makeshift morning, and ways we've yet to let the schoolhouse be. Thank you.